Hey guys, how are you today? I hope you're all well. It's Economics with Bona. And then we have our 2025 paper, which is from the Eastern Cape, and this is our backup paper, right? So we're still focusing on our circular flow questions. So we add question 2. 2.1. Answer the following questions. 2.1.1. Name two turning points of a business cycle, right? So our two turning points, we know that it is a peak and a trough. So those are our two turning points. 2.1.2. How can a larger marginal propensity to save MPS affect the size of the multiplier? So whenever the MPS is larger, this reduces the size of the multiplier as less is available to spend. So whenever the marginal propensity is higher, it means that people are saving more and they are not spending, which leads to our multiplier decreasing, right? And then we have our 2.2. Study the table below and answer the questions that follow. National income accounts of South Africa in million rands. We have 2020 and 2021. So compensation of employees, and then plus net operating surpluses plus consumption of fixed capital is equals to gross value added at factor cost. And then we have plus other taxes on production minus other subsidies on production, which is equals to our gross value added at basic prices. So now we know that our A is GVA at basic prices. And then we're going to say plus taxes on products minus subsidies on products, which is equals to gross domestic product at market prices. So since we've read our table, we can see that this is the income method. So they used income method to calculate the GDP, right? So let's go to our questions. 2.2.1. What method of calculation is used in the table above to determine the gross domestic product? As I've said, income method is used to determine the gross domestic product. So our answer is income method. And then we have our 2.2.2. Name the missing item labeled A. So as we can see from our table, how could you see that this is GVA at basic price? As you can see from our table, we have factor cost, we have market prices, but we have one conversion that is missing, which is the basic price. So that means our A is our gross value added at basic prices. So if it is difficult for you to understand how the conversion goes, so you could look at your table and see which conversion is missing, right? And then we have our 2.2.3. Briefly describe the term subsidies on production. So we know that subsidies on production refers to subsidies that are not linked to specific good or service, right? E.g., subsidy made on employment, right? And then we have our 2.2.4. How would you convert GDP to GNP? Interesting. So by now I'm sure you know this one. So we're going to say GDP, gross domestic product at market prices, right? Plus primary income from the rest of the world minus primary income to the rest of the world, then that is going to equal to GNP. And then we have our 2.2.5. Calculate the value of GDP at market prices for 2021. Show all calculations. So let's go to our table. So one thing that could be confusing is that we don't maybe you don't know what to add or what to minus. So you can start on your 2020 and see how did they convert, right? So here they said gross value added at basic prices plus taxes on products minus subsidies on products, and then they got gross domestic product at market prices. So you could just start by calculating your 2020 and see if plus taxes minus subsidies can be equal to that 5 million, right? Then you're going to go to your 2021 and then calculate 5,572,608 plus 633,854 minus 13,965, and then we are going to get 6,192,497, right? Then that is our answer. So we are done with our circular flow questions. Thank you.